Oleksandr Usyk retains his unified heavyweight titles after beating Anthony Joshua for the second time via split decision. Remarkably, I don't know how anybody gave that fight to Joshua. He did a lot better than he did the first time, granted, but I don't know how you get that to Joshua. One judge, I think, gave it 115, 113 to Anthony Joshua, and the rest was 116, 112 to Usyk, which is what I had, and the other had it 113, 115 to Usyk. So either way, I think was a great performance from Usyk. I don't think that Joshua has much to be ashamed of. He fought a very good fight, but just wasn't enough for Usyk. So I'm literally recording this right after the fight. I'm not actually right after the fight, right after the interviews. I think Joshua has a lot of fights left, but after that post-interview, Joshua may also have a career in podcasting and possibly in motivational speaking and in WWE all in one, because I don't know what the hell that post-fight interview was about. But either way, it was a really good fight, though. It was not same, but it was very similar in a sense of, in the first fight, Joshua had a moment in the 6th or 7th round, I forget which one, middle rounds, where he built some momentum with the body shots, and every time he tried to do something, Usyk came back. It was the same thing, but in this fight, Joshua just had more moments, and he didn't look as lost as he did in the first fight. I think what clinched this fight were probably the last 3 rounds for Usyk. He really got it put on him badly in the 9th round, and if he didn't do what he did, and if Joshua had put on another onslaught like he did, he may have actually dropped Usyk, because Usyk was looking very, very wary. But because Usyk's the champion, he came out very, very strong, and that is exactly why he's the champion and why he's one of the best, and why he is, in my opinion, the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world. I don't see who beats him, to be honest. I know I'll talk about Tyson Fury in a second, but I just think the way he moves for a heavyweight, the way he got hit, and after he would get hit, Usyk would just answer with 3 or 4 punch combinations. It was a brilliant performance from Usyk. But first of all, when it comes to Anthony Joshua, he did a lot better last time. I've had a feeling he'd do a lot better just based off his walkout. He looked a lot more serious, a lot more in the zone, and he did brilliant body attacks. I think if he fought this fight the way he fought this fight, maybe against the likes of a Ruiz and maybe against like a Wilder or a Fury, I think he'd do a lot. He may win most of those fights, because, to be honest, he was smart, he was calculated, he didn't gas maybe towards the end, but for the most part, he was fine. He let his hands go. Problem is, Usyk is just extremely hard to get a hold of and really hard to really land anything. But against lesser opponents, I genuinely think that this version of Anthony Joshua would beat them. That Joshua against Usyk would lose, I think, Fury, Wilder, all of them. But this one would give a real good account of themselves. But it was a great fight, though, like I said. In terms of the rounds, I scored the fight 116, 112 to Usyk. I gave Usyk, if I go through it, the first, the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and I gave him the last 3, 10, 11, 12. So Joshua had a real good spot from 4 to about 7. Not 4 to about 7. He had a real good spell, Joshua. I would say 8 and 9 is where he did good. And I think 2 and 3 as well, he did very good, Joshua. But he just didn't do enough. There was actually one point, I think after 3, where I actually had him up by 1, Joshua. But then Usyk, again, the fight, every time it looked like it was going Joshua's way, it just swung back in Usyk's favour. But yeah, a fantastic performance though from Usyk. There were moments in the first fight where he looked like he could stop Joshua. There was one moment where he had a really good throw on Joshua, but Joshua has the heart and showed that his chin isn't that bad. He still ate a lot of shots from Usyk and never wobbled. Whereas I felt like Usyk, especially with his body, really looked like he was vulnerable at times. But Usyk's gas, his engine, his hand speed especially, I think is what really won him these fights, because he's just too quick and too agile for Joshua. And I think his movement, again, these smaller heavyweights who can move are a very, very big problem. But regardless, though, a very good fight from both men. I think now for Usyk, everybody wants that Tyson Fury fight. I wouldn't be shocked if Fury literally decides he's going to vacate, or I don't know, or maybe Fury fights him. I'd like to see him fight him, to be honest. I think Usyk would give him a horrible fight, but Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with that one, to be honest. You got to have to see, I guess, in these next few days, next week. I think he's got a day, hasn't he, to... The WBC gave him a day to see what he's going to do. If not, I don't know if Usyk will get the WBC strap, or it will be... Maybe it'll be up for when Wilder fights Helenius. I don't know what the situation will be with that, but... How you see Fury and Usyk is the fight that people want, and it is the two best heavyweights going at it, and I think it's what we need, and two masterful boxers. So yeah, great fight for Joshua. In terms of what he needs to do next, I'd like to see him against Wilder, unless Helenius chins him, but I don't think that will happen. I don't think he should. People say he should retire. He shouldn't retire. He still has a lot of big fights. He'll still make a lot of money. But I think there's a few fights I like to see. I like to see him fight Dylan White again. I need to see him fight Wilder again. I think Andy Ruiz, the third fight, would be a good one. Dan Joyce, Dion Dubois. There's so many great fights out there for Joshua. Just because he didn't get this one doesn't mean the rest are, not good. Almost irrelevant. I think you can still have quite a few fights out there. But I don't think the Fury fight will happen now. But who knows? Maybe if Joshua can build himself back up, maybe that could be a possibility. But yeah, for now though, I think that thus far, I think Joshua's shown he's a very, very good fighter. But when it comes to the elite, he isn't there. He's very good though. Let's not get it twisted. He's just beneath that. He's better than the likes of Dylan White, but he's also maybe not as good as an Usyk or a Fury. So I think that's where you probably put him. I think there are moments in this fight where he needs to let his hands go. I just don't think he was able to do it. His gas tank wasn't there. I don't think it was anything to do with heart. He didn't tire in this fight per se. He still kept going forward, but he just wasn't. I think he knew if he just let his hands go and tires, then he's going to have to. Problem with Joshua, he always takes a few rounds to recover when he lets everything go, and I think that's happening against Pulev. Klitschko happened so many fights, and you don't want it to happen. I think for Joshua against Usyk, which is why I don't think he did it. But who knows? Maybe that approach could work against a certain type of opponent. Wilder's approach of losing every single round but hitting you with the right hand seemed to work for a long time, so maybe that could work this time. I don't know. Either way, though, I'm excited to see what happens now in heavyweight division. This has been sorted now, and now everybody knows Oleksandr Usyk is the man, and Fury is sort of the shadow looming. And yeah, I really want to see that fight, but this is just my quick reaction to the rematch between Oleksandr Usyk and Anthony Joshua. Usyk, champion, want to see him versus Fury. Joshua, I want to see him against Wilder, against White or Ruiz, whoever. And if we don't see him there, then I want to see him giving out some TED Talks or starting a podcast, because the man can waffle, but God bless him. But yeah, a great fight, and yeah, until next time.